Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. You know, there's always lots of talk about different glues and where you should use them, which ones are better for this situation and that. Well, today I've discovered another kind of glue that's come pretty highly recommended to me. So today I'm going to test it. So today I'm going to be testing this Bondrite, and I'm going to be comparing it against Titebond. And this is the glue I've been using for years and years and years, so I know what this one does. So I'm not looking to see which one's better or worse. I know what this one does, and I just want to see how this one compares to it. Now, this one says it's a Woodworkers glue. It says it sands without gummy buildup. It accepts stain, and that it's fast setting. Then in the fine print it says it may not accept, or it may accept some stains better than others, and you really need the test. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have two tests going on here, so let me tell you what I'm going to do. The first one is going to be a setup, how well the glue holds. And so I've got it marked. The top here is going to be all Reimer glue, and I'll put all these blocks along here and glue them on. The bottom row will be Titebond. And what my idea is this. The first ones, after I glue all these up, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and see how long and how much strength it takes to knock that one off and that one off. Then I'm going to wait another 5 minutes and do a 10-minute on each side, then a 15 and a 30 and a 60, and that will give me at least some sort of an idea just how well this compares in terms of setting up and holding power compared to what I use with the Titebond. Now the second test that I'm going to do, I've got this piece of wood and I've got Titebond and Reimer, and I'm just going to put a very thin coat of glue on there and a very thin coat of glue on there and nothing down there, and then I'll use a few different stains and dyes and just see how they compare. Okay, and the clock's running. Okay, so there's 5 minutes, and I put this in my vise in case they get hard to move, but there's 5 minutes. So this is the Titebond, and this is the Reimer. Actually, the Reimer was a little bit easier to take off, but okay, let's wait for the 10 minutes. Okay, and here's the 10-minute mark, and here's the Titebond. Yeah, and the Reimer is still easier to take off, so that's interesting. Okay, and here's the 15 minutes, and this is the Titebond. Yeah, the Reimer still easier, not quite as strong. Now I'm going to do the 30-minute one, but I'm going to use some pliers, and I'll tell you why. The 15 was already getting kind of hard, and if I use a lever on both of them, I'll still get a good feel for which one is stronger. So here's the Titebond after 30 minutes. And here's the Reimer. Yeah, and it's still easier to take off. So anyway, we'll wait for the 60-minute and see what that does. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 60-minute, and I'm a couple minutes shy of it, but I'm going to go ahead anyway because I'm getting tired of waiting around here. So this is the Titebond. Ooh, there. Now that was fairly tight. It was fairly strong. Yeah, and that one's pretty easy. So in the final analysis, I'll move my clock here, the Titebond is definitely a stronger glue than this Bondrite, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the next thing we're going to check is to see just how good this will accept a stain or a dye. Now, the next test that I'm going to be doing is using a dye and some stains to see how well, and there's, you can see in the middle, there's the Reimer glue there and the Titebond on top. Now, what if I put glue on here some time ago? It's been dry for 3 or 4 hours and it's obviously not sticky. And I just put a thin layer of both of them on. You can see that, so that I'll be able to give it a chance to soak in. Now, the other thing I've got is some dye here, and this is an aniline dye. And those of you who have been watching me will know that I use dyes almost exclusively now when I color woods. But I also have a stain here, and a stain. You can see that this stain is quite watery and it's well mixed. And the last thing I have is another stain that I seldom use, but this is actually a gel. So I'm going to try all three of these and we'll see how well, or if at all, they soak in. So let's start off with the dye. So there's the comparison of those three, uh, the dye and the two stains, and you can see how well, or in this case, not at all, these dyes and stains did not soak into that glue at all. And I left this for a few minutes. In fact, I left it too long. The dye soaked in really well, of course, to the wood, and the stains had plenty of time to soak into the wood too, but they really left not even really a hint of a coloration in either one of the glues. Well, that concludes my video for today, comparing this Bondrite glue that I just discovered a few days ago and comparing it to the Titebond that I've been using for years and years. And I had high hopes that it would be fast setting and that it accepted stain, but I didn't find that it really did either one of those particularly well. But it doesn't make it a bad glue. It's an average glue. It works fine. And I'll use up the rest of this, but I think in the long term I'll probably continue to stick with the Titebond that I've been using for years and years, because it seems to work just fine for me. But if we don't test these things once in a while, we'll never know if there might be something better or something different that we should be using. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.